What is up, everybody? It is Drew, Traveler of the Burning Abyss here with another video, and I know you're seeing my face before the video. Wanted to give everybody an update. I was supposed to post the video that you're going to be watching a few days ago, but I ended up wanting to redo it. So literally after I record the video where you hear me speaking right now, I'll be recording the actual deck profile that you're going to be seeing. But also, I was not really able to record much over the last couple weeks. I ended up getting another concussion. I don't know if anybody knew that I got one initially. I got one back in the end of April. Yeah, end of April, beginning of May. And I just got one, I think it was last week. Yeah, July 18th. So when you get two concussions that close together, it's usually not a good thing. So yeah, I haven't had as much energy to upload stuff, and obviously I have to kind of limit screen time a little bit. So I've basically cut my average daily amount of time on screens in less than half, which is good for everything up here. But yeah, concussions are not fun if you've ever had one or multiple or anything like that. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is I'm sorry I didn't upload this sooner. It would have been uploaded sooner, but other things happened. So now you guys can enjoy the deck profile. What is up, everybody? Drew, Traveler of the Burning Abyss here, and you probably already saw a little intro that I posted. So yeah, concussion brain is fun, and I'm not gonna talk about it that much longer. I already gave you guys a 1.5-minute intro. I'm not even gonna do a camera cut. I'm actually just gonna move this off screen and just go right into the main deck. We are looking at Unchained. I know I didn't really bring that up too much in the initial intro, but we're looking at Unchained post Duelist Nexus. I think this deck has a lot of potential to do some pretty neat stuff. Honestly, going forward, I'm probably going to be playing like this in Altergeist. That's most likely what I'll be running with. So yeah, let's go ahead and start off with the main deck. Starting off with the Twins, we play 3 Aruha, 3 Rakea, and 2 Sarama. So your Aruha is kind of like an extender slash starter. Your Rakea is a quick effect pop on your board, and your Sarama is your reset. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I don't think 3 Sarama is necessary. My list relies a good amount on the newer cards for the most part. So yeah, we'll obviously talk about that, and I'll show you guys a combo at the end of the video. Maybe a couple combos, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to say about the Twins. I think that this is the proper ratio. 3-3-2 is good. I've seen some people going down to 2 on Rakea. Please don't do that. It's not good. It's just not good. Then for the Souls, I'm playing 3 Shervara and 1 Shyama. These are the new cards from Duelist Nexus. I think that it's definitely worth playing. The 3-1 ratio, you really don't want to draw the Shyama. So yeah, you kind of want this to be in deck. And I mean, if you open up this in the trap, that's basically combo, which is what I'm going to show you guys later in the video. But yeah, 3-1 I think is good. And then I'm playing 1 Abominable and 1 Soul of Disaster. Like, I wanted to cut this card so badly, but I'm opting to leave it in. I don't know, these just aren't as good with the new stuff being out now. Now it's like with the new cards, I don't even care that much about Abominable or Soul Disaster. Like, yeah, I don't have much else to say. I mean, this is good because it can interrupt in the middle of your opponent's combos, but other than that, I don't think Disaster is good at all. I haven't really liked this card throughout the entirety of playing this deck, but I think that it is kind of necessary to just have the one of each. And there are times where this can be good. So yeah, I think 1 of each is perfectly fine. I know a lot of people usually play 2 Abominable, so like if you really don't want to play Disaster, you could cut it and play a second copy of this, but that seems a little odd too. But yeah, I think that playing these are perfectly fine at 1. Then for the other going first stuff, 3 Prosperity, because you can just dig deep in this deck, and you can open up with like basically 2 cards, and your starters are just like nuts when you get 2 card starters. Spoiler alert, I'm not playing tour guide in here. I'm not playing the live twin evil twin. I'm literally just playing pure because like I'll say this from my perspective as a Burning Abyss player, and if you know anything about Burning Abyss and you know anything about me, you know that Tour Guide is not worth playing at more than 1 in Burning Abyss, and I would argue the exact same for this deck. If your opponent imperms or ashes the Tour Guide, now you have to rely on having another extender in hand to pop off with, and to me it's just not worth it. I think it's just better to play your pure Unchained core stuff without adding any other engines in. So same thing goes for the live twin evil twin stuff. Like it's not worth it. It's really not. So 3 prosperity for some digging deep. Then we have 3 Abominations Prison because we want to search for specific Unchained cards to start our combos. It also does have the whole popping ability, so that's, you know, the special summoning when it's popped. That's pretty important as well. So 3 of that. And then I play 3 of each of the trap. I think that 3 escape and 3 abominable are correct. You want to open up one of these with your Shavara, the new red doggy. I'll show you guys the red doggy. You guys already saw him earlier, but your red doggy Shavara, want to open him with one of your traps, and that grants you, you know, really good stuff. So yeah, I think that 3 of each is completely necessary. But that's basically all of your quote-unquote going first and engine cards. Going into the going second stuff, we'll start with the hand traps. I'm playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Nibiru, and 3 copies of Imperm. I feel that this is probably the route to go. I feel like Nib is pretty interchangeable with something like Drone Lockbird. I know a lot of people are kind of, you know, leaning on Drone Lockbird right now. I like the idea of playing Nib, but I could definitely see a reason to play Droll going forward. So if you'd like to play Droll, go for it. Like I said, they are interchangeable. Do whatever, you know, you feel is going to work for you. But yeah, I think that these are fantastic. Imperm is just a great card because your opponent isn't going to be able to hit you with like a Talents or a Thrust if you're using Imperm. And then Ash is, you know, is good against some stuff generically, but then obviously against branded, it's like, you know, the god card. But yeah, that's the hand traps. Then the other going second cards like board breakers, I'm playing 3 Dark Ruler and 2 Dark Hole. So I was playing the Interrupted Kaiju Slumber and the Kaiju stuff for a little while in testing. And the reason I opted to change it is because there's going to be a lot of like break my board stuff, and I want to be able to clear my opponent's board. So Dark Ruler just does that for me because I shut their board off and then I can just play through it. And Dark Hole, I put this in here primarily. Well, there's 2 reasons I put this in here. Obviously, it's a board wipe, or it can bait a negation. Secondly, it does not hurt the deck because if you blow up your own stuff, then you just get to trigger their effects, and that's even better. And then also, if your opponent hits you with like an Ibly, you can just Dark Hole and clear the Ibly, and that puts you in a pretty solid position. So I think that Dark Hole is pretty darn sweet. But yeah, the Dark Ruler is really good. Like I said, I opted to kind of stray away from the Kaiju stuff. If you want to play it, go for it, but for me, it just wasn't something that I wanted to stick with. That, however, is the main deck. Should be 40 exact. I'm gonna go ahead and hop on over to the extra deck now, so you can see how this is kind of altered with the release of Duelist Nexus. All right, so extra deck time. Starting things off, we have 3 copies of Unchained Soul of Rage. I still think that playing this at 3 is fantastic and very integral to the deck strategy. I would not change this up. This is definitely one of those things that you're going to want to keep, and it does a whole lot for the deck, being able to use your opponent's monsters as link material. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Then I am playing 2 of the new Lord of Yama. This card is fantastic. If you want to pause the video to go ahead and read the effect, go for it. Really strong card. Helps you a lot with some of your combos, most of your combos, I should say. But yeah, it's fantastic. It's a searcher, it's an extender, all that good stuff. So yeah, I think 2 is fine. 3 is probably too much. I'm playing 2 Soul of Anguish. This does come up, but definitely not as much as like other cards in the extra deck. But going second, it can help you break boards even further, because you can, you know, go Yama with one other material to make this, and then you can use this in one of your opponent's cards to make a Link 4. So yeah, that's pretty dope. Then I'm playing 1 copy of Abomination. I don't think you need more than 1 of this. Once you drop this card on the board, you pretty much win the game. It's not very often that you lose the game after dropping this card. It's just so darn good. But then the other Link 3s that we play, I play 1 Unicorn and 1 Trisbana. I love Unicorn, obviously, because you can just use Soul of Rage with one of your opponent's cards to make Unicorn, and then Unicorn gets rid of another one of their cards. So essentially Soul of Rage gets rid of 2 of your opponent's cards, which is actually pretty nutty. And then the Trisbana is for back row decks. It basically just banish their back row. That's all there is to it. Then the other Link 4 I play is 1 Access Code. It is a dark, so Access Code is good primarily for getting really, really big, but he's really only going to get 1 pop because all of your Link monsters are dark for the most part that you're going to be putting in your grave. So basically you're going to get him up to 53, pop 1 card, and then be swinging with the 53 beater. That's essentially all he's there for. And then lastly, 1 Underworld Goddess. I'm always back and forth on this card, but I do think it's pretty solid, and it can come up a decent amount. So yeah, Underworld Goddess isn't a bad card. I won't go in depth with that. Lastly, though, the XYZs, I'm playing 1 High King Caesar, which is for your new doggos, your red and your blue. You're basically going to overlay them to make this. To add to that, I am playing the Deuce Machinex, and I am playing a Zeus. So turn 1, if you're going first, you make this, and then, you know, when it goes to your opponent's turn, you can stop them from doing 2 effects that special summon. And then on your follow-up, you can stack this, attack, and then main 2 make a Zeus, and then you have a Zeus wipe. That being said, if you're going second, you might just be better off making this with the 2 materials, overlaying, and then attacking, and then making a Zeus and having a 2 board wipe with Zeus. So yeah, that's kind of my reasoning behind playing the Deuce Machinex. It does give you more ways to kind of make Zeus a little bit better. So other than that, I don't think I have to really explain this engine. But that is the 15 for the extra. I'm going to go ahead and now showcase off the side deck. That way you can see what we're doing for games 2 and 3. All right, so moving over to our side deck now. Starting off, I have 2 Magnamut and 1 Druis Worm. Any kind of deck that, you know, revolves around using dark and light monsters in the grave, you're going to go ahead and put a stop to that really quick, which is important. I considered doing things a little bit differently here, but you know, it's no big deal. I considered playing 1 more Bestial. It could have been a 3rd Magnamut, and I'll talk a little bit later about what I thought about changing. But I think that these are really good. These are being played a lot. I don't think that needs much of a further explanation. But then we have some back row removal. 3 Lightning Storm, 1 Feather Duster, and triple Evenly. So this is what I considered. I considered pulling out the Evenlies, putting in 2 Cosmic Cyclone, and then 4th Bestial, because that would still be 5 cards for back row removal. And I feel like you are going to see like an okay amount of mirror matches with this deck, because I do think it's pretty solid. And Cosmic is really good in the mirror matchup. So yeah, that was just my thought process with it. But I mean, if you want to play Evenlies, play Evenlies. It's still a fantastic card, and it puts in a whole lot of work. But I do think more back row removal is necessary, because chances are Labyrinth is going to be a pretty solid deck still moving forward, and you're going to want to have ways to stop that. And that's exactly what all of these cards do. Then lastly, the cards I side in going first, Triple Judgment and Triple Barrier. I feel like this is not really something that needs any questioning. The only other thing that I could think of that you could consider is Anti-Spell Fragrance, but I feel like that's something that I say for almost every single deck that's not ridiculously spell heavy. And if you're going first, obviously you side out a lot of your spell cards that you don't need going first, you know, stuff like your Dark Ruler and your Dark Hole. So, you know, if you were to play something like Anti-Spell, it would make perfect sense, but I opted to go with these cards. But that's the deck profile. I'm going to go ahead and show off at least one combo. You know, I'm not really sure if I'm going to show off multiple. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to show you guys at least one combo so you can see, you know, the basic line that we're always looking for. All right, so as you can see, I have a copy of Escape and a copy of Shavara. This is like your basic opening combo that you're gonna kind of rely on most of the time. And you know, if you can ever open these cards, you're basically off to the races. So you're gonna set your copy of Escape, and then you activate Shavara in your hand, which will pop Escape, and then you get to special summon it. That will then trigger Escape because it was destroyed, and you'll get to special summon your blue from deck. So now you have your Shyama and your Shavara, and from here we can link summon, and we're going to go ahead and make the new link our Lord of Yama. So now Lord of Yama is Chainlink 1 and Shavara is Chainlink 2 to set from deck. So you'll set Abominable, and then you will search for Sarama. At this point, we can normal summon Sarama, and we can use the effect to set Escape, and then pop the Abominable. When the Abominable is popped, you can summon out a copy of like Shavara, basically something that you don't really need. And then you're going to link your Yama and your Shavara for Soul of Rage. At this point, you can use your Shyama's effect Engrave to summon itself by popping the Sarama. Sarama's Graveyard effect will then trigger as Chainlink 1, and then Chainlink 2 will be Lord of Yama. You'll banish it to summon the Shavara, and then the Sarama resolves to summon Rikeya. The reason I order it that way is because they can't ash this, because this is Chainlink 2 to summon from grave. So yeah, they're not gonna be able to ash it. They would have ashed you a lot earlier in the combo anyways, but just for reference. Always play around stuff like that if you can. And so something else I want to point out, Yama says that it special summons and then you can destroy a card you control. It's not mandatory. You get to choose if you want to. Cans and musts, or, you know, if it doesn't say can, then it is a must. But if it says can, you don't have to do that action. So from here, you're going to overlay these two for your Caesar, and then you're going to pass your turn. So essentially what you have is a whole lot of interaction that your opponent is going to struggle to play through. So the first thing that you have is the Caesar, which is going to be able to stop 2 special summon abilities from your opponent. And on top of that, when you detach the Shavara, this card, and I'm going to bring this up here so you can see this really clearly. It says if this card is sent to the graveyard, it doesn't matter from where. It's just like Burning Abyss cards. You can set an Unchained spell or trap from your deck. So you can literally set another Abominable directly from your deck, or an Escape directly from your deck. So if you detach, you would get to set the Abominable, and then you're good there. And then obviously you have another detach to negate another special summon ability. You also have Escape's effect to pop this and pop one of your opponent's cards. And you also have the Rage to use one of their cards as a link material. Now, I also want to point out that there's something else that you can do here. I'm going to put the Abominable back in deck. If your opponent sees your board and they go, let's enter battle phase. I wonder why they would enter battle phase. Maybe because they have evenly matched. If they have evenly, you are all set. It doesn't even matter. This board plays through evenly, which to me is insane that you can play through evenly with a board like this, but you can. So your opponent activates evenly matched. And you're like, uh-oh, that's not good. So what you do from here, when they activate evenly, is you're going to chain your Rikeya to target your set Escape. Then you are going to chain Escape to pop your Rikeya and your Soul of Rage. So these two get popped as part of the effective Escape. So I'm just going to clarify chain link so you can kind of follow along. Evenly is Chainlink 1. Rakea is Chainlink 2, targeting the set escape. Chainlink 3 is escape, targeting Rakea and also popping the Soul of Rage. So if you go in reverse of the chain, the escape resolves, these get popped, Rakea resolves, this gets popped, and now evenly resolves. You only have one card left on your field. So your opponent is not going to get anything out of that evenly. And then additionally, because you destroyed your Soul of Rage and your Rakea, they're both going to trigger their effects. So you're going to be able to add one of your Fiends from grave back to hand. So let's say we add back a Shavara, and then we also get the Rakea, which can special from deck. Whatever you want to go for it. That's obviously up to you. If you want to summon like an Aruha, and then if they kill it, you can summon Abominable, and then Abominable could pitch a card. Whatever you want to do, go for it. But this board does play through evenly, and you still have the summoning negations. So, and it gives you the follow-up with Shavara. So this is really, really crazy to think about. You know, it's really neat, but I think that's one of the neat things about this combo. All right, so let's assume that we open, you know, Abominable instead of Escape, and we still have the Shavara, but, you know, we have the card that we don't necessarily want, but we drew it. You know, there's nothing we can do. You can still end on the same board. You just have to go about it in a different way. But you start off by setting the Abominable, and then you do your Shavara to pop, and you get to summon this, and then your Abominable will trigger. Once again, we get the Shyama. Then you're going to link 2 still to make your copy of Yama. Yama Chainlink 1, Shavara Chainlink 2. You're going to set your escape, and then you're going to add a Ruha to hand off of the Yama. You then activate your Ruha to pop the escape and special itself. Because this popped the escape will now special from deck. We'll get the Sarama. Sarama's effect will now set escape and then pop the Aruha, and then Aruha triggers engrave to special summon a Shavara, and then you link these two for your Soul of Rage, and then you can go Shyama effect, pop the Sarama, Sarama Chainlink 1, Yama Chainlink 2, banish, summon the Shavara, and then you get to summon the Rakea from deck. And then once again, you just overlay these into your Caesar. So this gets you the exact same board. You know, you just have to you have to search a different card. Like that's basically all that it is. And it still gets you there. You still have the escape, you still have the Rakea, the Rage, and the Caesar. So even if you open Abominable, don't worry, the play is still there. There are plenty of other old Unchained combos that you can, you know, go into. I don't really feel like those are necessary to show in the video, but you know, that's really what I wanted to showcase, is how good the new cards are and what they can do. So hopefully that was helpful for everyone, and you feel encouraged to pick this deck up and play it. It's pretty budget for the most part too, which is nice. Nothing in the deck is overly expensive. Even Yamas, I mean, tomorrow is technically the world release because like local stores got product to sell, I believe today, because today's Thursday, but like places like Walmart and Target and GameStop, they can't sell their product until Friday. So, but this is basically out and released, and I think these are sitting at like $6, and you only need 2 of them. Most of the extra deck stuff has reprints, so I mean, a full like core is going to cost you probably less than $100. You know, and if you have to change the extra deck to make it more budget, go for it. But you can get Zeus's for like $12 now, I think, because of Battles of Legend. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. You all enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload more cool and awesome content like the video you just watched. And for right now, this is Drew, Traveler of the Burning Abyss, signing out.